to do some of the small talk to start.
Yeah. Tell me this Alex Hormozy story.
Oh, Alex Hormozy. Oh, I think I saw him on another podcast. It was like Diary of a CEO guy.
Yeah.
I don't know the guy's name that runs that one, but I think Alex basically said, look, when you hire someone for a specific need. So like if you want someone that's going to sit up front you hire a barista at Starbucks, you can train certain skills, but there's some skill sets that you really want in the barista, right? That you just are harder to train. They're kind of softer skills oftentimes, right? Like you hire the barista, they're very good at talking. They're usually pretty outgoing. They're welcoming, or they feel welcoming to a customer that walks in. Those you might have rules or SOPs or specific standards that you want, but the person probably met them on the interview, right? So the person probably met them when they go on to the interview. You have to train. What they might not have the skills for is making coffee. So you train them how to make the coffee or all of the ingredients. So you train them on a very specific skill, but they have all these other really good skills too. So, and if you train them really well on how to make the coffee, you have a high performing employee because they're very welcoming. People want to come in, they want to buy the coffee. They'll come in more regularly, right? That's a very good skill. And you can either hire someone that didn't know how to make coffee but had those skills, or you can already hire someone that did know how to make coffee and had the experience and had those skills. You're probably paying more for that person though. Mm-hmm. So you can either hire the person at a premium that knows it already and has those skills, or you hire someone that that has the capabilities to get there, and you have really good training regimen to get them there, so you can hire them at a lower cost.
You also, I think it's important to note, which we've done, is you have the opportunity to kind of mold a young person in their role. So you can kind of mold them in the way that the company or you desire, right? So it's not maybe they worked at another business that doesn't fit your culture or processes, but you get the opportunity to mold them if they're still pretty young and not set in their ways. I think that's an important thing to know.
I feel like we try to pride ourselves on the fact that we can train, and because that's so important. You want to be able to train people to work in your organization or on your team. Because if you're not able to train, then all you get is you hire someone and they're usually stuck at where you hired them because you don't know how to teach them to grow. You have to know how to teach them to grow, because then you can have the person with your firm for a long time, and your firm or your team grows with the individuals on the team. It's like synergy, right? The best football teams, I think of the Seattle Seahawks, who they had a really good roster. I think recently in the NFL, because of the hard cap rules, I've been noticing a theme of drafting really well, having a lot of really good young talent, instead of having Sam Darnold was really good last year. He's not Patrick Mahomes. I don't know who's going to ever put him. I don't know who put him in the top 5. If anyone has ever put him in the top 5 of quarterbacks, right?
I think
the top 5 quarterbacks did not win the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. No, he just came. The Athletic, they do an annual quarterback rating, and he was 14th.
There you go. So it just
Hard Knocks started last night, by the way, and it's Seahawks. So that was pretty good.
What was that?
Hard Knocks released last night, the first episode.
Oh, there we go.
So I watched that last night. That was good.
Hard Knocks, really? I thought you couldn't have been in the playoffs for them to be
they changed the rules on it.
They must have changed it.
Yeah, because the Bills were in it last year, and now the Seahawks are in it this year.
They used to always do the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's really cool watching it because they show their practice. I know we're getting off course, but they show their practice facility, and I believe it's Lake Stevens that the practice facility's on, and I've driven past their facility, so to like see it on Hard Knocks was pretty cool. It's beautiful. It's right on the lake.
Yeah,
but
so back to the point was
I hear you.
The football, you actually see it in basketball too, because they added hard cap rules. And not to get too deep into it, but pretty much what what I'm saying is you can only pay your players so much. In the aggregate, your whole team, you got to be really what the goal is that they're trying to level the playing field so everybody gets paid the same amount. or you pay out the same amount on the aggregate to your whole team. So if one team has a whole lot of money, like probably like an LA team, because they're in a larger market, compared to someone in a smaller market, maybe Minnesota, Memphis, or Nashville, Tennessee, they might be generally smaller markets in comparison to each other. They are all assessed having to pay the same amount for all their players. They can't pay any more than a specific amount. So you have to be really smart on how you want to pay, how you want to structure your contracts with your players. Who do you want to pay more? Who do you want to pay less? Typically, if you hire or if you draft younger players, they are going to be at a lower salary than if you had a free agent who's been around the league for 6 to 8 years. They're going to be more expensive, right?
Yep.
Generally, salaries go up as you stay in the league. So what's really interesting there is the teams that have been winning the Super Bowls recently have had a group of very good young talent. So it's not only it's a combination of they drafted well, so they got guys right out of college, young talent, and then they're paying them at a discount because they're performing well. But that also means they're probably training them and coaching them very well. So they did a great job of building a really good rounded team. So it works the same way in an organization is you can improve your profit margins by hiring, not just reducing salaries, but hiring someone that maybe has less experience or less knowledge at a discount compared to what you would have hired if someone had, you hire someone at 6 years of experience versus someone with 12 to 15 years of experience and has been around the block. There's merit to that person. There's merit to both of them. But if you are very good at training, you can find ways that the person with the 6 years of experience has the soft skills you need. They have the motivation. They have the determination. They have a lot of the cultural value fits that you want. And you know specifically what you can train them, and you can train them up on it. You can meet them. You can pay them less than the person that's been in there for 15 years. And now you're making a better margin on the same work that's getting performed.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny you brought up the Seahawks because I was thinking as you brought that up. It's funny because there's a lot of similarities to this team as there was to the team that won it back, 12 years ago or so. They
That's
had
right.
everybody on rookie deals. Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin, all on rookie contracts.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And then you saw what happened. They won one, and it looked like, oh, this team's going to be there for 3, 4, or 5 years in the Super Bowl. Nope, they only went back to one more, and they lost. And it's because guys started to have to get paid. So
exactly. And the point I was trying to make is it's not to pay your employees the least you can possibly pay them.
Of course.
That's not what my point is. My point is it's a high stress on leadership, cultural values, and how you can train your team. Those three, especially how you can train your team. Because if you have a very good training regimen that it has strong growth, it's well structured, and is very specific, so people know what is good and what is bad. There's positive reinforcement and there's also negative reinforcement. Hey, this is exactly what you want. You set high standards. Hey, this is the standard to hit. When you don't, and someone is aware that they don't hit it, because you got to be specific versus vague when you train. So if I say, hey, Garrett, that's not what I want you to do. Did you know? All you know now is what I said is whatever you did was not good. Hey, Garrett, hey, Garrett, the way you said that to Susie was not aligned with our core values. And I leave it there. I did say that it doesn't align with our core values, but I didn't say what to do instead. So I just said stop doing it, but I didn't say what to start doing instead, right? And I didn't say specifically what it was, right? So if I have something very specific, I say, hey, what you said does not align with our core values, but so instead, please do this. Then now I showed you what aligns with our core values, and now you have specific instruction on the next time you come across that situation, you immediately have behavior change.
Right. And something I thought of too while you're talking about training, something that you and I have had to learn to do with people is to have clear and concise written down or typed up roles and responsibilities. Because how are you and I able to say, hey, you should have been doing this, if it wasn't written down for them. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, to me, I'm sometimes I have this thought of like, well, it's obvious, you should figure it out. But for someone that can't read my mind, it's not obvious. So that's been a huge thing for us too, having clear and concise roles and responsibilities. And I do kind of feel like those should be maybe tweaked or amended every year as the role kind of evolves. I don't think that it's probably pretty rare that you're gonna have an employee with the same roles and responsibilities, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, it's the exact same. It's gonna change. So I think that's super important too.
Yeah, that's a great point. So having something written down or having a clear and so not only instruction that's very specific, having a clear expectation is a great way to also train, because now you go, hey, this is what we expect. Here are the standards that we want to hit. So now when there is a correction to be made, you can refer back to, does this align with the expectations? And if the answer is no, then there's correction that needs to be made. If there were no expectations set, it's pretty hard to say that there should be correction, because now you're too late on the 8 ball. Now it's completely fair to say, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was supposed to be aligned with our expectation. I didn't have expectations. So it's so key, especially when we hire someone, day one, we say, hey, look, these are roles and responsibilities. This is what we expect from you. This is what we expect you to do in the firm. This is what we expect you to interact. This is the type of level of relationship that you have with the team. So now there are expectations set on day one to say, so then immediately when we get 2 weeks in and we notice that something's not aligned with those roles and responsibilities, we can point at it and say, hey, I think this is not aligned with the expectations we set.
Right.
Because now we have something to measure back to.
Yeah. And I think it's important. This took me, if someone's listening to this and having a tough time understanding, it took me a minute to understand the importance. Think about it in like a friendship or an intimate relationship with someone. We've all probably been in a relationship where you do something in a relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend a couple times and they blow up on you, right? And you're like, whoa, what happened? Well, a lot of the time especially if it's early in a relationship, they might not tell you that they don't like that thing, right? That would have avoided a blow up. Same thing in business. If the expectations are clear and the roles and responsibilities are clear, there shouldn't be an issue necessarily, right? Should be pretty clear and concise.
Yeah. So I mean, in your relationship, does Caitlin know everything you're thinking? Do you know everything she's thinking?
No.
How do you know? How do you guys know how to get along on something?
Open communication.
Okay.
Open communication. Yeah. We believe nothing changes until the unsaid is spoken. So if you've got a problem with something, maybe take 30 minutes and cool off. Like both of us have to do that, but then come together and say, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that, and set that expectation going forward. I was going to say something else and I can't remember. I was going to lean on something else, but
I like something that you said there, is sometimes you got to take 30 minutes to cool off, however long that is, right?
Oh, and we'll say it to each other respectfully. Hey, I think you might just go take 20, 30 minutes and then let's talk, because we both need to kind of cool off.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
I can't remember who said it. I want to say it was I can't remember who said this, but it was like, hey, every time I have a big decision to make, I take 10 minutes before I make the decision.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I can't remember who said that.
Have you ever stressed about something or had anxiety about something, and then literally 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes go by and you're like, oh, it'll all be okay. I'll figure it out.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Yes, but usually what I'm thinking of is like someone gave me, to me, I perceive it as bad news, right? Or it's something that would stress me out. So a fire comes across my desk or I find out I have to address a fire. Well, and it comes to like someone made a mistake. Maybe someone made a mistake, or I had to make a decision to communicate that we have to fix behavior. Well, if I'm flustered when I have to communicate that, I'm probably going to convey how my emotions over when I share it. And so the team might not take, like, it might be taken, oh man, like, am I in big trouble? What am I going to get fired? Because your team's it's in the emotional IQ of your team. They might think, whoever you're sharing this with, they think you're frustrated with them, even though you might be frustrated with the situation, which is also really important to share. Like, if you're frustrated, you want to make sure that it's not that you're frustrated with the person, but you're frustrated with the situation. Because at least if they're at least aware that your emotions, that you're frustrated with the situation or the behavior specifically, and not with them, then all they know, then they'll understand, okay, when this gets fixed, then that's the only thing that he's got the issue with. He doesn't have an issue with me. He has an issue with the behavior or the situation. So he's not mad that I've been, I show up late to things, or someone's been showing up late. Well, if I show that I'm frustrated, and I say, hey, you can't be late. You are always late. You are always late, right? I say something like that. And I say, you. It sounds like I'm calling the person out, not just their behavior. I have an issue with them. Now, if I say, hey, look, we cannot be late to a meeting that does not align. One of our core values is preparation. Preparation, what does that look like? Looks like showing up 15 minutes before a meeting or on time to a meeting, however we want to define it. So we define what preparation is. Okay. So that behavior does not align with preparation. And if we agree on that, now we've agreed that the behavior needs to be corrected, but the person that performed the behavior is not the issue.
Right.
It's the behavior that's the issue.
I think asking questions is huge too. I remember listening to a podcast once of this business owner that was talking about whenever he has problems with his team, he'll just sit down and go, hey guys, what happened? What happened? Right? It doesn't come across as an accusation, right? Like, you do know something happened and something occurred, but let them tell you. Don't make an assumption. And he would talk about how he would blow up and then realize that his blow up, he said things that weren't even true. So it was just, you lead it with a question and then go into kind of what you're saying, which is, hey, we can't do this. We can't do things this way, that way, whatever the problem is. But at first, it's giving them a chance to explain and not just jumping on a situation and assuming that they screwed this, that, or the other thing up. So I think that's super important too. I wanted to touch on, because this is the Entrepreneur Lounge podcast. At the end of the day, we're a networking business, a network. I think you and I have had a lot of realizations, both of us, on. We've always understood the importance of networking, but we've been working a lot with our advisor lately, talking about being visible, and I think both of us have increased our visibility. I want to touch on just how important it is to not only to network, but just to be visible in the community and kind of in the stratosphere of all of our people in our network, and just introducing people, checking in on people, sending a text here, sending a text there, just kind of always touching, and just talk about the importance of being visible. Because like you and I, we share our calendars. You've been going to town on being visible, and it's really shown. I mean, I had a prospect this morning that I texted you about from a coffee that you had, and he just emailed me while we're sitting on this podcast. I think it's going to be a done deal. One coffee leading to a couple $1,000 in business, which is awesome. That's what being visible does. And I want to be clear, being visible doesn't mean, I'm not telling you this, Matt, I'm telling our listeners, being visible doesn't mean that you're selling to the people that you're meeting with necessarily. You may, but being visible is them understanding what you do, and then they being able to kind of cascade your message throughout their network when a need comes up for your service or an intro to you or whoever. And I just think that's really important. I am terrible at social media, so my marketing is networking and being visible. Thank goodness we have Rachel handling a lot of our social media, which is great. She's absolutely killing it. I love only having to put 15 minutes a week into looking at social media posts. It's great. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on being visible and kind of get your 2 cents on it, because I think it's been working. Your strategy's been working and my strategy's been working, and I think it's useful to share what we've been doing.
Can you give me a definition of what it looks like to be visible in this sense?
Yeah. I think, depending on how busy you are in your profession, I think it's good to set goals. Like you and I have set goals as to how many times we want to go have coffee, have a networking call. Like I count, if I have a call with someone, I'm not expecting them to be a client, but it's just like hey, what do you do? Here's what I do kind of conversation. I count that as a connection, right? That is. And then I connect with them on LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. I think being visible is just always connecting with people. And it can be at an event, it can be on a call, like I mentioned, it can be a social media post. I mean, it's everything involved in cascading your message or your company's message in a public manner, whether it's face-to-face or over the internet. That would be my definition.
Yeah. You could say the internet. I say literally to anything, because it could be for anything.
Yeah.
I think of it as just people see my face and they can relay. It's like personal brand. It's pretty much just getting your personal brand out there. And what is that going to be? What does that look like? It's people see your face, they see you, or they see things that represent you, and they associate them with you. So then if you're a, for instance, we're a CPA firm. So what do I want to share? I want to share that people associate tax about me. People associate accounting, bookkeeping, CFO, numbers. They think of the first thing that when I meet someone, even if they don't know me, you know what they go? I say, I'm a CPA, numbers guy. You're a numbers guy. I already have a brand that precedes me because of the term CPA. And as long as I show up and people see my face and they know I'm a CPA, they go, numbers guy. He's going to,
exactly.
If I have questions about numbers, I know who to talk to.
Yeah.
And if you have a very specific message when you try to be visible, people, as soon as something that is associated with you comes up in their head and they need help on it, they know who to go to. This person dry cleans clothes. Every time I need my clothes dry cleaned, I'm going to go to this guy.
Right. Or anytime you hear someone say that they need that.
Exactly.
Go, hey, I want you to meet Billy Bob.
I know exactly. I need to lose weight. I know exactly who's going to help you lose weight.
There you go.
I know the person that'll get you
my
there.
My wife. If you're overweight and need to get on a GLP-1, talk to my wife.
That's right. That's right.
In the state of Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that's so true.
Yeah.
Get another, I think something that's also missed is, if we're talking about specifically networking, so going out and talking with people, there's multiple ways to try to market. And so one thing that we're very good at and we know very well, what we know to do is shake hands and kiss babies.
Yeah.
Get out there, talk to people, have a smile on your face, be warm, welcoming, just being ourselves. And that's what helps sell what we do. So you just use what your personality is to sell. If you're not a huge extroverted person, then what you got to utilize to your advantage is probably how well you know your product or your service.
Yep.
And you just live with that. So you can gear conversations around that and figure out how your marketing would benefit more towards that. You're going to do a lot of informational, whether that's marketing online, you're going to be solely informational.
Yeah.
And the information is just so detailed and well written and well put together. If you're really warm and welcoming, then you change your perception to be warm and welcoming, outgoing. Maybe you still would want to share information. It's just now you balance it a slightly different way. You're going to attract either a different audience, or you'll attract the same audience, but you'll have a different perception of how you work.
Yeah. And I'll give people a couple examples of some things that we'll do. So like, for example, when we were just in Oregon a couple weeks ago, Matt and I we went to this restaurant that was on a dock basically. And literally on one side of the table, the other table on the other side of us, and then the table behind us, there was basically 3 different types of business owners that we met. And Matt exchanged, I don't live in Oregon, Matt does. Matt exchanged cards with them, had coffee with them, met with them, talked to them. Like, that's being visible. That's one example. And then another that I kind of mentioned, you always want to be like almost like touching your contacts in a way. I connected somebody with a business attorney that we know, Matt, and I've been trying to stay on top of it. Like, I just texted her this morning and said, "Hey, did so and so move forward with you with like the prayer hands emoji, or no, I did this emoji." And I think that's super important, even if they do or they don't. I'm showing like, and I do truly care about this one, right? I care about all of them, but I'm also just giving a touch point. Hey, Garrett Paul's going to pop up on your front of your phone for a second, and you're going to remember Garrett Paul for a sec, right? And what Garrett does. And I'm going to do that every so often. So Garrett Paul is always staying at the forefront of someone's mind. That's the whole idea. Of course, I'm doing it because I care, but I'm also doing it for that reason. So
I think another thing about visibility and networking and marketing is it's not about just getting your message out to each person one time. It's not just doing it one time. It's not connecting with one person one time. So you're saying touching multiple times. So you're reaching back out to the same person. Mm-hmm. Okay, I referred them. I'm also going to reach back out to double check on what the situation is. Maybe you have an opportunity to learn. Wasn't a great fit. Maybe they wasn't a right fit due to right. Service offerings, or wasn't the right fit for the type of client that they wanted. Maybe the size, personality, whatever. Yeah. Right. But
great point.
When it comes to marketing and especially networking, people are always focused. It's easy to get in the focus of talk to more people, always talk to more people and spread out and go very broad. Well, at some point, you can't just continue going broad. You can keep doing it, but you might not you're going to find a plateau at some point, because what's really going to benefit you is you go deeper with the same people that you already know.
The entrepreneur.
It's like the jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can be good at everything, but I'm not great at one thing. You might as well also have great depths in relationships. That's the best ones. That's better than being broad. If you have two people, you have two referrals, like let's talk specifically referrals. Your business is highly based off of referral sources. I can't refer to 6 different financial advisors. There's only so many referrals I can give around. I'm going to give to to either 1, 2, maybe 3 of my favorite financial advisors, because there's only so many personalities I'll be able to, or fits that I think would work, right? If I had 10, 20, that's too many. That's too many. I won't be able to refer to all of them, and they all won't refer to me because they're also going to talk to all these CPAs. You want to find 1, 2, maybe 3 people that you really like in a specific industry, and you want to get to know them on a deeper level so that you can always understand each other. One thing that really benefits us is if we continue to meet with people, well, guess what? Our service offerings change too. And so will everybody else's service offerings change. If we're a firm, or you're a person that's focused on growth, you are likely going to change your service offerings and what you do over a period of time. So if you're changing them, you should continue to be checking in with the people that you work with and reminding them what you do.
Yes.
And telling 100%. Them what you now do and what you no longer do. So they know not to continue giving you the same person that was not profitable before.
Yes. 100%.
If you don't continue building those relationships and checking it, it's like getting a best friend. We love having best friends. You see your best friend all the time. You're always talking to them. But if you had no best friends, how happy do you feel, right? You don't have someone you can confide in when you're feeling down. You feel like there's nobody you can talk to. It's the same way in business. You got to have that deep relationship where you can share more about each other, where you guys know a lot more about each other and you can refer more. You have a better idea of how to connect with someone that you work with, or get an idea of, hey, this person really needs an attorney. And I know exactly the attorney you need because I've worked with them for 6 years.
Right. And I think, I always say this with my connections, because we do have a lot of really, really strong connections. We have 17 members in the Entrepreneur Lounge, for crying out loud. But, I'll always say in my introductions, hey, I want to introduce you to, let's just say, I want to introduce you to Matt. Matt works with almost all of my clients. And, he's always had a lot of success. They've always had a lot of success working with him. I have no doubt that you're in great hands with Matt. I love making an introduction like that. That sounds incredibly strong, and it is. I don't ever lie about it, but that's a great way to give an intro with people that you've gone deeper with. Just saying,
right.
hey, look, I am extremely confident that you're going to be you're going to be well taken care of.